Hmm. So far, everything is being set up well. Still waiting for the ads to start. There we go. All right then. Let's just get... It claims ads are going to start real soon, so I'm going to start it now. And that way we can have nice 30 minutes of no ads. Let's get this out of the way. All right, so while that is running, I think everything is pretty good. Yeah, I think everything's pretty good. Audio's right. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right. All right, happy Thursday. It's been a while since I spent programming. We've been It's been raining nonstop since Sunday. And it's finally we have a lot of sunshine. Hey, Zach, how's it going? So yeah, now we have clear sky, so hopefully that means we won't have any trouble with our stream being cut out. I need to set up the... I have a lot of drawing to do, so I know what I'll be doing after stream today. Either way, if you remember last time, so the other day when I was streaming, we were busy trying to find ways to identify brand new ROM hacking websites. The idea was that we would find ones that we would then vet ourselves, and then from there we'll then build ourselves some some pretty much scrapers, extract out that data, and then we'll keep track of what's going on. So the main thing was trying to identify those sites, which kind of requires a verification system. So while I was not able to wasn't exactly able to stream, but I was able to program, so I ended up doing that a little bit. Let me kind of show you what I've done, assuming I can remember where I put it. Here it is, verification service. We need to actually rename this. Oh, okay, it's right here. Anyway, here it is, the verification service. It's very basic. I need to rename it because this is actually something else. This is the modeling service. So we'll call this the classifier model service, because that's kind of what it is. But nonetheless, what I've done was I set up a class which will hold out a pipeline. This pipeline contains a vectorizer, a transformer, and a self-training classifier. This way, what I can do is I can take all of the descriptions. I feel like right now what we can do is we can feed in like the description, we can feed in the title, and then when we put all these together and then run it through our classifier, then it will go, oh yeah, this site is 100% worth your time to investigate and build an extractor. Versus, oh yeah, this site, avoid like the plague. So here's here's my training function, and here's the evaluation function. And ideally, if we want to train and evaluate at the same time, then we can set it to true. As you see here, evaluate. And so far, this looks pretty good, if you ask me. There's just one problem. I need to finish writing this. I have to save the date. I have to save the model so that we can load it in every time we need it. And two, I don't have data to run it. We need lots of data. So with that in mind, okay then, with that in mind, I think there's a variety of different ways to save a model. One way to do it is to simply pickle it. There's a tool called Pickle. Actually, I think maybe there's actually a lot of things we're going to have to do here. We'll put it on the to-do list, because what I want to do today is I want to work on more of the extraction side of things. But yeah, we need to do a save model, and then we'll need to load model. And the main thing here is I need to define. So we'll put the to-do right here. To-do. And this pretty much is write a model save okay then. So the idea is, I'm writing it here right now because we need to do this. If I'm going to be messing with lots of models, I need to be able to store them in a particular location. Rather than me setting an arbitrary definition, especially given that eventually this might get ported to different areas, it's best to build a module that will track where everything should be stored. This way I can store the LLM models that we eventually will pull in, and anything that I create, we can also store it somewhere else as well. So I need to write that. But yeah, so far, oh, and we should probably rename this real quick before we move on to our next topic. We should probably rename this real quick. And there we go. There we go. Nice. Now then. So, what are we doing today? Well, one thing we've done was we've written out our metadata right here. We can extract the metadata out. We have to modify our data. We have to modify some of our core code. I think that's the main thing we need to do today. This Google search. If you remember, originally we were setting it up so that it was just saving everything as right in here. Here you go, right here. So as you can see, this is all of the data sources. This is all of the different files. We put them out in different URLs. And then you can see here's the name of the file. Here's the name of the URL. Everything is right with the world. However, it's not actually right with the world. And the reason why is that I actually want this to be more detailed. I do feel like we should put the URLs in the data source. Yeah, we should definitely put the URLs in the data sources. But yeah, we have to. Kind of have to think of a good mode of, because we need to verify all of these. Otherwise, we'll keep running through this over and over and over again. Every time we extract out looking for new ROM hacking websites, I can guarantee Dual Shockers or ROM Hack Plaza or Poke Harbor or even Awestruck Academy. These will all keep showing back up. And as such, we need to write two things. We need to write code that will... Actually, I think we can already get out the HTML with the XML parsing. So yeah, we don't need to worry too much about the HTML parsing, but we do need to figure out how to say, yes, we've already looked at this, ignore it, and no, we don't want this. Let's see. Actually, one of the main things we haven't been doing is we haven't yet wrote a module for tracking all the data. I have a feeling Google searching through Google might be, we might have to change it up a bit. It might have to be a bit different on how we want to get it done. The reason why is because of the fact that this type of data is going to be different from the data that we're used to collecting. If you look at our other databases, particularly this one here, you can see we have our hack data. In this case, we can go in, we can find all the different ROM hacks, the URLs, and we can proceed to go through and everything is hunky-dory. For the game sources, you can see we can parse out all of the different sources and then all of the different URLs that we want to extract. This is very simple. This is very easy and easy to track. Doubly so if we check out the game facts section. You check here, you can see here's all of the PlayStation games sorted out. And then for data sources, you can see here all of the different sections for the different ROMs. Or, sorry, different game files, not ROMs, game files. Or, this is game facts. Everything is about facts and boards and cheats, information. So this is all of the information about the different consoles available. So this is how we originally have the data sorted and stored, which is quite useful in this regards. But for Google, we want to be able to go through all of them. So if anything, our data sources here, these, instead of just making out a sitemap file, the data sources should contain all of the, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that might be it. Actually, why is this blank? Anyway, so yeah, that's what we'll do. We will start storing all of our files as individual data sources, which we can then verify. Let's go ahead and go modify it. It shouldn't be too difficult. Oh. Hey, classifier, we will worry about you later. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to worry about this later because we're going to have to write our own function for that. So we'll just go ahead and blot it out for now. Here we go. Okay. So this is what we were originally doing. We were going in, extracting out all of the URLs, then dumping it as just a basic dump. And then from there, we then save everything into a single document. We're not doing this anymore. What we're going to do is we're going to change this up. So now that we have our extracted list, this will be a list full of dictionaries. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go for search item in extracted list. We'll then create a document. And then for the search item, let's see here. Did I set up the URL? I did. All right. So it's just capital URL and then capital name. All right. Capital URL. Data type. This is no longer a search. We'll call this... Actually, it is a search. Okay, yeah, it is actually a search. It's a search document. Okay, then Google code, fine, data. Now here we go. So we don't need data. Do we have the URL present? No. Oh, there it is right there. Web page URL. All right then. There we go. And then we'll put this into to save. Then afterwards, once we've gone through the list, there we go. That will be perfect. Now, let's see here. We're calling this once right here. Okay. And this is go. I think that's all we really need to do there. Oh, actually, speaking of which, one thing we do want to do is we've created a list. We are seeing if we can get it. Now then, I'm automatically getting or creating based off of the URL that is present. That's something we'll need to modify a bit. So we'll call this the search URL. Okay then, let's do an RE find. Oh, we will have to set up a pattern. Okay, let's set up a pattern real quick. So the idea will, if we go, why don't we grab one of our examples real quick so that we can at least have something that we can work with. How about CBR? Actually, how about we do this? How about we do this? We will keep it. All right, well, we'll keep it like it is for now. I was going to do a search, but thinking about it, we'll just go ahead and put the URL straight in there. Like that. Okay then. And then that way we can save all of the files. But given this in mind, what we need to do now is we need to update the service real quick. Not the page service, but the web page doc. All right. Verified. Actually, this might be a bait worth putting in the base document. This will be a bool. There we go. And the default is false because we don't know if we have to verify it ourselves. But yeah, I think this will actually work out well because we do want to also verify the ROM information, especially when it's the hack. So we want to verify the hack information. We want to verify that the URL is what we want it to be. We also want to verify the information that pretty much everything needs to be, or we need to make sure that things are properly vetted and verified. A perfect example would be, we might end up finding a ROM hack, and this ROM hack might claim something fantastic, like, oh, this ROM hack, it fixes a major bug that ends up being present in, I don't know, Superman 64, and then come to find out it's actually a virus. So we want to say, no, this does exist, but it's not verified. It is not actually what we think it is. It is actually amazing. There actually are ROM hacks out there which were designed by nefarious individuals with the intent of taking advantage of people who don't know, and thus they will patch their ROM with this virus. They'll then run it in the emulator, and then suddenly they have a major problem. Hey, where am I? How's it going? Oh, we're doing it for everything. This is going to be a data repository. The idea is that we're going to be storing, pretty much the idea is that we're going to be extracting ROM hacks from all sources that we are aware of, particularly ones that constantly are being updated, and maybe a couple that aren't being updated as frequently. But the idea is that it's going to compile all of the various ROM hacks into one source so that we know what's available. Because boy, are there a lot of hacks, and boy, are they all over the place. I actually can remember a couple that's... Am I using Sea Lion? No, I am using Python. Python, Selenium, and Mongo Engine. Okay then, so let's get back over to here. Now the main thing is, if we've already established this, there's our loop. Here we go, right here. I can give you an example if you're interested. Let me, let's load up Brave. Exactly. We're not... I'm not going to be... It pretty much is an idea of this is where the data is located. If you want the file, you're going to have to go to the website and get it yourself. But the idea is that we know where the data is located and what it claims to be involved with. Let me show you an example. So if we go to Super Mario World Central. Here we go. Mongo Engine. That's a NoSQL. So let's see here. Where are you? Hacks right here. Now, where is the... Oh. Anniversary. Here it is. Oh. The 20th anniversary. I wonder if it's this one. Okay, no, it's not this one. I might have spelt it wrong. My typing is not the best. All right, the main point is that there is a ROM hack in here called Super Mario World Anniversary. All right, clear the filter, please. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I just want to find I'm just trying to search for a basic ROM hack. Okay, you get the idea. Just look at this list. All of these different ROMs, they are only here. If I go to a different website, it is all about ROMs. So we'll go to romhacking.net. You'll find that this is a completely different repository of ROMs. These are all, different repository, different data that's available. In fact, you can see here, like it's not even just dedicated to Super Mario, but it's to other ones. So this is the idea. The idea is to compile these together so we know what's available. Oh, hey. I don't know. The audio in this game's audio, it is borked. No, the English is so bad in this. An English version of the game with the iconic Japanese intro. Oh, I'll have to check that out later. Actually, I'll have to watch it. I don't own this game. I used to rent this all the time from Blockbuster. Yeah, I'm old. But I used to rent this all the time from Blockbuster. And I remember the voice acting to be very lazy. I don't think they could get the actual voice actors when this game came out. You should learn and be more comfortable with SQL because every non-SQL database will grow large. It will need to have a relationship between the data. So eventually SQL will be the right choice. It depends. It depends. There's a right choice for everything. For instance, one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'll be sorting everything out into documents. It makes it a bit easier when it comes to trying to put things up on, because eventually I'll be making a front end on this. I mean, when I was making a zebrafish database, SQL was definitely the way to go. Because SQL was the definitive way to go if you're trying to track lineages of zebrafish. When it comes to data like this, it's a give or take. Either way, we should probably run this. Let's go ahead and get our setup. Let's get this set up. Let's extract some data. All right, we need to also set up, we need to run our main function. Oh, that's the parser. Okay, where is our... Let's see here. Where is our... I'm looking. I be looking. Where is that? Okay, let's just go ahead and start exiting things out real quick. No, we don't need the history doc. We don't need documents. We don't need the base open now because we're done with that. We don't need web page. Too many things open. Oh yeah, there it is, right here. This one. Okay then. Now with that done, let's see here. We were modifying our scraper right here. Pretty much we were going in and everything that we extracted, we were then saving as a different document page. I guess this would be for processing. Actually, let's go over to the data sources real quick. Yeah, this is, so in other words, all right. I kind of want to keep it this way, actually. Well, I mean, actually, this is not a ROM database. No. I'm not trying to track, because downloading ROMs is illegal. This is to track the hacks that you apply to them. You know, Romhacking.net is doing nothing illegal because all of the data that it provides is all custom fan made, and you cannot. They're not doing anything illegal. As such, there's no way that they can be taken down by these big companies. Let's see here. Maybe... I'm thinking. All right, what I'm going to do, let's go over here to our parser. This one. Here's the generate the list. This is what we were originally doing. I think maybe I would want to update this too. So we grab our list. Oop. I'm being pinged. Well, I mean, yes, there are a couple of the sites that are being shut down. But the thing is that all of the sites that are being shut down, they are all illegally distributing data. For instance, the latest one was what was it? NS2. It was the Switch. It was the Switch data site. It was pretty much you could go and download Switch games for free, which is illegal. Now, one thing I will argue, there definitely should be a library system set up. I'm hoping that. Okay, I shouldn't have too much high hopes, because this is the United States we're talking about. They are so pro-corporate. You would think that the United States, the parents of the United States, were corporations. But what I would like to hope is that, a lot like there is a movie repository, it's a movie library. Because film is so important, especially a lot of films are very important. There's a national library where all of this data is stored, and you can rent the movies out to watch them for academic reasons. You can rent them out for, mostly academic reasons. But there's nothing like that set up right now for games. And I know that archive.org had been trying to push to get that set up. But again, because the US is so corporate, they're not allowing that. They keep trying to push this to not allow that. Oh, for me, I like using Python a lot. In fact, this entire program is written in Python. Let's go ahead and grab this out. Let's go ahead and run the parser first. Okay. We need to update that, since I renamed it. There we go. Yeah, I mostly like using Python. However, I do have experience, right, using Go. Could you say SQL is its own programming language? I know that there's a lot of tools out there that use SQL, but SQL, C++, Python. I did dabble in Java, mostly for Minecraft, so I can't really say it's anything super spectacular with Java. And I'm currently trying to learn Golang, because apparently it's a very popular language, especially for those who mess with online data. Though, looking at Golang, it looks very similar to C++. It's just that instead it's trying to simplify things. So, I guess it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's see here. GameFAQs. Parser. There we go. Now we have that set. Golang is great. I've heard a lot of good pros and a lot of cons about it. For instance, I know for a fact that it is a simple language, so it's not going to be too difficult. However, its error handling is kind of annoying. Oh yeah, we need to do console. Generate game list. Oh, this is GameFAQs. Yeah, what are we doing here? I'm glad we fixed it. We won't be here in this. Okay then. Google. We want to use the Google. There it is, the Google parser. Okay then. Here we go. There we go. And then from here, we can then extract all the data, like so. And then last but not least, instead of saving it all, instead of making this two dictionaries, yeah, instead of doing that, what we can now do is we can just run through this. So let's do that. So for index, and this will be the search URL. We want to do this with the df. And I need to type better. Thank you. No, all right then. So from here, we'll now have our search. We should probably take a quick peek at our search. Total URLs. Here it is. Wait a minute. Did I just... Oh, how much do you bet I did? Oh, I see. Okay. I set the index for... that means we need to reset the index real quick. Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go. And then from here, when we do search URL, what we're going to simply get is our... We need to also set this up real quick. I'm going to have to standardize this a bit, because the last thing we want to do is have these be separate. All right, so that's... All right then, so yeah, right here. So we're creating a document. The document should be... The name of the document should be the URL, right here. So yeah, our ID will equal this. Our... Let's see here. So yeah, our ID will be this. Our tag, maybe, will be that. Actually, we'll just go ahead and put in the URL. There we go, like that. There we go. So that way we'll create our documents. Then our... Oh, actually, maybe we should do the name. We should probably do the name. Yeah, let's do name. Let's pick name for name. And then this will be the... Oh, website. I forgot. All right, let me get this real quick, and then I'll... Here it is, web page URL. Thank you. The web page URL will be the search element dot, or search elements self dot URL. And likewise, we need to put that around the other one. Like so. We don't need that. But we do want to put down our tag. This should be... Actually, let's see here. All right, let me look here. You worked with C++ primarily for testing. Although you do not enjoy building systems or dealing with her... Oh, hey, that sounds quite fun. When it comes to building systems, I really enjoy... I do enjoy the architecture a lot more than most things. For instance, what I'm doing right here, it isn't exactly groundbreaking. I think building a database like this is something very simple, but I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy thinking of ways to better sort and store the data. I'm going to use Flask. When it comes to the front end, it will be Flask. I've never used Flask before, though, so it's going to be a very interesting... It'll be a very interesting endeavor. Okay, name, tag, ID. I think we'll go with tag. Yeah, we'll definitely do tag. So for the tag, it will be web page. There it is. There we go. And then like afterwards, we'll then store it. We'll go through the list and then we'll save. So if I run this, how's this going to look? let's go ahead and get that set up. Oh. And we'll run that, and it went all the way through. Nice. Now let's go to our database. Data sources. How is this looking? And that is perfect. Granted, data sources and game sources, they are kind of everywhere. I'm gonna have to write it to get rid of them, but nonetheless, this is pretty good. We now have, actually, wait a minute. Where's the URL? The URL is missing. Oh, yeah. Okay, then. Let's see here. I did set it to save. Webpage URL. Don't tell me that this is one that's not being tracked by my... Okay, where... Let's see here. Here. No, it's right here. Webpage URL. It is in the webpage doc. Oh, I know what's the problem. I think I know what the problem is, because this is a data source. I think this... Alright, I think there's the download page doc. There's the... I think this might need to be a... Yeah, let's go ahead and move this. I'm in the wrong data section. Congratulations, you've been promoted. You're now in the base. Okay then. That should solve that problem. Let's go ahead and run this again. There we go. Oh. Oh, I see. Yeah, yes. I don't have much experience with CMake at all. So yeah, I can remember one of the major projects one goes through when they're going through a computer science degree is they have to build their own compiler. Yeah, compilers are... Those types of things are not my forte. Yeah, I might need to learn how to build compilers at some point. But yeah, from my understanding, that I could actually understand when you say you're not a fan of it, because compilers are really, really complicated, and it really based on the system you're working with. Alright, let's try this again. There we go. Now how's our data looking? And the answer is, there it is. Perfect. Everything is right with the world. Okay. Okay, now as I said, one of the big nuisances is this game source. So we should change that real quick. So this is, let's see here, where is it? Mongo Engine documents. Should be data sources. Not the browser service, not web page. All right, to the data service. Where's your document? Here it is. Data source doc. This one. I set the default to be curly brackets, but let's go ahead and change this to none. There we go. Now all this means is, let's see here. All right. we'll say get data sources, and this will return a dictionary, which will contain a string with anything in it. Now the idea is if self.data sources is equal to none, or we probably should say is none, then what we'll do is we'll define this like so, and then we'll simply return data sources. And why are you complaining? Oh yeah, because it's a double dictionary, so it's going to contain all of those. And likewise, we'll do the same thing here for game sources. There we go. Oh, okay, and why are you complaining? Expected a... Oh, alright, yeah. This is supposed to be a list. Let's just copy that and send it out. There we go. Alright then. Oh yeah, yeah. I know that is one thing that I've heard that's nice about Golang, is that the compiler is more friendly, in a sense that you don't have to worry about a lot of hidden, because when I was so one of the things that I dabbled in for a little bit before realizing I need to learn a bit more about assembly language was that I was trying to decompile old PlayStation games. There's an old PlayStation game called You're Under Arrest. Let me show you. I can show you. So yeah, there is a game called You're Under... I know it's... Okay, well, You're Under Arrest. This one. This game right here. I've been a major fan of this franchise forever. So when I found out they had a PlayStation game all those many, many years ago, I wanted to play it. But it's only been released in Japanese, and there's just no way to play it. There's no English patch, no English translation, nothing. So like, I was like, I would like to translate this so that I can actually play this game. However, I quickly found out that I don't know enough about assembly, so I can't really go into here, break down the data, break down the code to figure out how to do the translation. And I also can't read Japanese, so even if I could get to that point, I don't really know what to do. And it was at that point when I realized, oh balls, because the PlayStation uses a completely different compiler that will be used for making the PlayStation games. So when I was trying to dig into this, I was decompiling it with x86 when it actually needed a completely different one. So it kept coming out with garbage mess. And so yeah, that is one thing I enjoy more about some of the more recent languages, that the compilers are at least more sensible. They work in more places. Yeah, yeah. I will have to get back to translating this game at some point. I really will. Right now I'm trying to... Right now for modding, what I'm trying to do is trying to insert back in the old Okami music into the old... Actually, I wonder if I can modify the Switch game and hack it. I've been messing with the PlayStation 3 version. I own I own both. Okami is the only game I bought like 9 times. But yeah, I'm trying to add in old audio, but the formatting is very broken, or I can't figure it out. Okay, so what we want to do is we'll get the source. We should probably... Okay then. So we're getting our data source. Then from there, we can then grab it. So let's go ahead and go back to where we're defining it here in the scraper. We'll have to modify the other ones as well. Let's see here, but it's actually, this is a parser thing. So let's see here. I'm not defining it here, but we need to modify, where are you? I think we'll go with, here we go, this one. All right, data sources right here. Okay, so we need to change this. So it will now be doc.get game sources. And then we'll call this the game sources. And this is going to be a dictionary. I'll need to figure out what it is. But then from there, we can then proceed to modify it up like that. Given the fact that there is given the fact that there is singletons in Python, this should work fine. I won't have any issues overwriting things. They did. There are a couple people who made a PlayStation 1 disassembler. Actually, there was a tutorial online which talked a lot about the disassembly. There is a tool. Oh, what was it called? I can't remember its name. I remember that it was used by the FBI for a while to try and go break into illegal softwares, softwares that were designed for theft, and then try and decompile it and such. I wish I remembered what it was called. I just remember the FBI used it. And there was actually an entire tutorial how you could disassemble a PlayStation game using this program and a special design plugin. There it is. Yes, there it is. You're right. Urton, you're right. It's Gahidra. Aha, someone remembered. Yeah, it's that one. But yeah, you can use that to disassemble PlayStation 1 games, and then from there you can then proceed to start doing the process of figuring it out. I think when it came to working on that You're Under Arrest game, eventually I figured out I needed to use the PS1 disassembler. Yeah. So yeah, I was using that. I managed to disassemble it. I did not know anything. I don't know anything about assembly language though, so I ended up getting stuck there. So I tried to go about it instead and see if I could if there's another route I could try and take to translate the game, and sadly no. I need to work more on it. You're right. There's a lot of, since Gahidra's, people can actively support Gahidra. There was one that was developed for Super Nintendo, one for Nintendo. There was PlayStation. I think there was a PlayStation 2 one that was also out as well. And there's a couple other ones. I distinctly remember the PlayStation, and I remember the PlayStation one, and I remember the one for the Nintendo. I think there's one for this. Anything from that generation and under, there should be there should be code for it. All right, so we do that and that. There we go. And then we store the documents. We then store the document. We need to make sure we're storing it here. There we go. All right. Now, the next thing we need to do is, where is here it is, data sources. Okay. So now we have doc. Actually, I think, yeah, all right. I'm making sure. Okay, then doc get data sources. All right, then this will be data sources. This is also a dictionary, but I'm going to have to define it. And then from here, instead of doing that, we can just simply replace it with that. There we go. Perfect. Now, anywhere else that we have data sources? All right, what about game sources? Okay, all right. So that's ROM hacking set. Let's see about here. The GameFAQs parser. Okay, it needs, the GameFAQs parser needs to be worked on. Okay, I think this is good. So with that in mind, let's see. With that in mind, that should help save us with a lot of issues. So what I'm gonna do is we're going to go ahead and go in here. I'm going to delete everything. Everything must go. Everything go. Nothing left. And with that, let's go ahead and rerun this. Oh. And oh, we don't need you open. Or you. Or you. Here it is, this one. Okay. Oh, whoops. And there we go. Okay, now let's take a quick peek at our data. Perfect. Nice. We have everything set. All right then. Perfect. Now what we can do is we can start going through here and verifying everything. And I think, oh, that means that I'm going to have to probably add in more files or more data for tracking in the data sources. But this is perfect because now what I can do is if this exists and we verified it, then we can move on. If it doesn't, in other words, we'll also have to check the auditing system. All right, we can work on that in a bit. Let's see here. What is going on? What's your average line length for individual file? Oh. My average line length for an individual file. Oh, that is a good question. That is a very good question. I actually don't know. I tend to not pay attention. I usually work until the function is done and then, or till the module is set, and then we go. I think maybe 1,000 lines per module, or let's see. I know a good example. Let's go to the, let's see here. Where are you? Let's go to our, not browser service. Should be in the scrapers. Here it is, the base. All right, yeah. This one's actually kind of small right now. It's just 282. So yeah, it's not very long. I think the most will be about 1,000. It really depends on what the functions are, the functionality is. A lot of the projects that I worked on, they usually like to, instead of expanding out vertically, they would expand out horizontally. So instead of just having one thing, calling it parser, they had, an example is right here. I have a parser for extracting out all the data that is involving the internet, but then I have a completely different parser. If you go up to here, let's see here, it's called, here it is right here, database parsers. And this has everything to do with transferring the data that we've collected from the internet into the data repositories that will be eventually uploaded to Flask. So instead of having these both together, We had them separated them out. I actually kind of like building it out more horizontally like this because it makes it a bit easier to keep track of where all the code is. Plus, I can sort them out appropriately. Either way, I don't really know which is considered the most optimal. Let's see here. Our parser is done. Now that we have our parser done, we should get back to the scraper. Here it is. Verify websites. So in this particular case, let's see here. Download web page. We currently don't have web page set. We're not using it anywhere. Exactly. I agree with you, Urton. I think horizontal is a much nicer way of keeping things organized. Okay then. So let's see here. We'll define this. This will be verify. Verify website list. I guess we'll call it that for now. We'll have to rename it at some point. But the main thing is we want to go to data source service. We would like to query our collection. For our query, we are going to be looking for tag data, which will happen to be the website type search code. So that's what we're looking for. And there's all our sources right there. Nice. So what we'll now do is we'll call this the oh, I should probably set a query. We don't need to check if it's verified. So let's see here. Verified is equal to false. All right then. Because if we verified it, then we don't need to check it again. Actually, I should... Oh, balls. Oh. We need to... Can this Boolean have 3 variables? Can I set the Boolean to none? I know that defeats the entire purpose of a Boolean. I know for a fact that in SQL, you can have Boolean set with 3 variables. One is none, then true or false. So can I set you to false? Or can I set you to none? Apparently not. Let me go check that out real quick. Let's see here. Can I set Boolean field to have more than just... I just want true, false, or none. Because then I will extract out all the ones that have a none associated with it. There we go. Boolean field. Primary key? No. Unique? No. Null. Here it is. Aha, we can. We can have null. If the field value can be a null, then the default when a default exists. If not set, the default value will be set to false. Okay. So yeah, we're going to set null to true. All right, good to know. Let's get over to our verification. Okay. Where did I hide you again? Here it is. Base doc, verified. Null is equal to true. There we go. So now, let's go find... The default is going to be none. There we go. All right. Let's rerun the code again. Oh. Oh, not the scraper, there it is, parser. Let's go ahead and clear out our database again. There we go. Now let's go ahead and run this. And there we go. Now, let's see here. How does our data look? They're all null. Perfect, perfect. Now, aha. Now that we can do that, in our scraper, what we're looking for is where these equal none. So if I do this, we can get all of our nones. Perfect. And this will be not verified. Not verified list. This will be a list of web page, or this is data docs, so data source doc. And then from that, we can then proceed to go with this data here. So we go, let's see here, for not verified item and not verify. Oh, there we go. Verify hacking website, not verified item. Perfect. I think because this is inputting in a string, I could have this set out a Boolean. You know, I could, let's see here. I could set out a Boolean like this. Or and then from here we can simply put in a URL. Oh. I could do something like that. Oh, however, the data that we want to save the verified data. The websites that are verified, we want to save that information. So in other words, if it's verified, so not verified item dot verified is going to equal is verified. So that way we'll verify it. But then if is verified, then what we'll do is we'll download the web page. And in this case, we will, okay. Let's see here. Let's put in not verified item. There we go. There we go. And let's see here. I think that should be fine. That should be good. We'll save that to the... Man, actually... Think. We're calling to save. To save is going to be using the database right here. So that's our database code. All right. All right. And okay, I'm making sure everything makes sense. Yeah, that is correct. Okay. Because for a second I was thinking it would be saving in a different location. No, it's not. It's going to save where we want it to. So if it's verified, we'll download the page. And then from here, we can then, last but not least, we will... Oh boy. This is where I was thinking of. We'll add not verified item. Oh. There we go. And then afterwards, we then run save. Okay then. So what is this complaining about? Expected a web page doc. Yeah, that's kind of... Because this is a scraper. Yeah, and we're just... Yeah, this is what I was... Oh, how do we verify this? We should modify this data. So let's just go up here and change this to a generic value. We'll change this to any for now. We might set it as a union later. But alright then. So from here, what it can do is we'll then add in our various files and then we can save them. Oh, actually, since we're doing this, I should probably, let's see here. We're doing calling to save. Here it is. Here. I should probably put a log in here. I'm going to put this on a to-do list. I have too many to-dos everywhere to track how many of which doc is being saved. There we go. Okay then. Because since we're going to be saving multiple different documents, it'll be good to know about those. So let's see here. So now that we have that, let's run this. So Google search scraper. There we go. Okay, then. Now let's see here. We're going to grab you. Let's go ahead and run the first one. So let's see here. Yeah, it's going to... We need to get the verification code set up next. Let's see here. Where are we here? It sent me here to ISO 171000. Okay, why did this show up? Well, it is Google search. It tends to be very weird. It tends to be very, very strange. Okay then. It does tend... Actually, it reminded me of something. Let's see here. Let's see here. We'll call this is hacking. This is going to be a Boolean. Yeah, after seeing the ISO one, we do need to set this here because verify is for making sure that it is actually a legitimate website and that it is also involved in hacking. Or maybe not involved, is to make sure that it's a legitimate website. Is hacking is to make sure that it actually isn't... Oh, quiet dog. Oh, they start barking. Annoying dogs. All right, yeah. We need this. Oh, and actually... Oh, no. Shh, shh, shh. Quiet, quiet. Annoying dogs. Okay. We want to set this to... Actually, I don't think we need to set this to null. Because once we verify it, we'll automatically check to see what it is. So yeah, this can stay Boolean to false, and until then we figure out what it is. So in this case, we checked out if it's verified. Now if it is verified, we will... Yeah, now we need to do a double. Okay then. If it is verified, we need a... double Boolean. So this is going to be a double Boolean. So all right. Yeah, so we're going to need two functions. One is let's see here, is verified and is hacking. We're going to have multiple models, aren't we? Oh yes, we're going to have multiple models. Okay, that's probably good that we changed the name then. So let's see here. Where did I put you? It should be in the here. Here it is, classifier model service. So yeah, here's our modeling service. I already showed this off earlier in the stream. This is our modeling service. I still need to write the saving and the loading functions. And I have mainly these need to be because we need to write a spot to define out where we save them. But the main point is that we need to make two different models. One for verifying and one for determining if it's a hack. Now, a way to do that is just actually, you know what? Let me load up GIMP and I can explain it real quick. How this works. If I explain it, it will also help me. It'll also help me. Let me load up GIMP. While that's loading, let's see here. We're going to have to build up a rather... There's a couple things we're going to have to do. There's a couple things we're going to have to do. All right then. Okay, GIMP is loaded. Let me open it up over here so you guys can see it. Here it is. Here it is. Here's GIMP. Sorry, let me move it around a bit so that you guys can see it a bit better. How is that? I think that's perfect. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so the way that this is going to work for our NLP. So this will be our models. Oh. So this will be our models. And the idea is that we will have text, which will be the description. This will include the description, the title, description, title, I guess, tags, a variety of things. And then we'll have the output. So this will be the result, also known as X and Y. Yeah, we like to keep it simple. And this actually will be what it is. So this will be hacking or not. Or this will be legit or not. You can actually build these models to have a variety of different ways. In my case, I'm just going to have two outputs. So it's going to be a pretty much a Boolean output. But if I wanted, I could actually put down make one of these things where we would take this line of text, and instead I could have it tell me this is going to be an ad, a hack that adds things, or it could be a hack that modifies, or it could be a full conversion. And the way it works is, so you can pretty much have the output be anything you want. The main point is you need to pair these up. So for every X, there's going to be a Y. So if we have something called, it's called Romhacking, and it says we store hack patches, like so, and then we would say this is legit. Well, when we train the model, let me give you one other example. We'll call it Google. We steal your data. So not legit. Okay, so yeah. So when we train the model, we'll have a ton of these, maybe like 100 or 1,000 of these. And then from there, it can take all of these text descriptions that we provide and go, okay, then based off of what data is present within the text, we can define if it is legit or not. If it says something similar to this, then it's legit. If it says something similar to, stealing your data or something that doesn't involve hacks, it's not legit. And then with this in mind, we can then save all of this and then load it up for later use. And this is the basic, this is how many of the basic modeling work. I dropped my pen. This is how many of the basic modeling systems work, and how a lot of them end up getting used in most companies, actually. If you ever see something which is like, oh, we have a tagging system, odds are they're using a something for, they're using some kind of model. In this case, we're using the self-trainer, the self-training classifier, but they're using some kind of model like this. And then they just trained it on a bunch of data to say, hey, if this is present, is a neural network. Neural networking. In this case, we're going to be doing that with text, hence why we're using the TF-ID transformer and the vectorizer. These are fairly simple. The vectorizer just converts all of the text into counts. And then the TF-IDF, it is a inverse calculation, which will... Oh, actually, it actually kind of tells us here, doesn't it? Let's see here. Yeah, you can see it right here. It's pretty much a inverse frequency calculator, where it pretty much tells you words that show up less frequently, but seem to be very important. They will show up higher on the scaling. An example would be the Romhacking website. Because the will show up everywhere and it won't have any real delineation where it should be, then yeah, the will be downgraded in this particular model. However, hack, because it's very specific and you can see it being paired with very similar words over and over again, it'll actually get raised in the calculations. It's a great way to make your model a bit more accurate. But yeah, with this in mind, what we should probably do is... Alright, what we need to do is... we need to train the data. We need to build a training data set. So... what would be the... Hey, hey, Unversionizer, how's it going? A ROM hack. ROM hacking is the process of modifying old data. It's pretty much modifying old games to contain new content. It can be for improving them. It could be to fix bugs that were present in the game. It could even be something as simple as a translation. So if I can show you an example. So let's go to romhacking.net. This is one of the most popular ones. I am so glad they didn't shut down. I really am. The person who was originally running romhacking.net, he was going to retire. He was like, he's been doing it for more than 20 years, and then he said, "Oh, I'm kind of tired. I'm going to stop hosting this." Thankfully, the community took it up. It does have something to do with ROM games, yes. But yeah, pretty much. Here we go. ROM hacks, translations. They get separated out by most of the community, but they're really the same thing. It's modifying the data of an old game. And as I said, they can do many different things. For instance, why don't I pick here, Revenge of the Shinobi Restoration. So this restores the original colors for the character. Okay, it adds Batman and Spider-Man back in. But here you can see that this one, what it does is it restores the modifications that happen to the game, as well as updating some of the stages so that it contains some of the data that was lost. And then there could be find some other ones, for instance, like this one here, Final Fantasy Tactics Prime. What this one does is it tries to fully modify Final Fantasy Tactics so that you'd have a completely different experience playing the game. It might be a bit harder, it might be a bit easier. In this particular case, they allowed event skipping, swapping your unit formation. They fixed a glitch there's a glitch, so there was a bug in the old game they fixed. They fixed a lot, actually. They fixed a lot of bugs in this game. Check it out. But you get the idea. And as I said, it's not just with hacking, but there's also translations. So there might be a game out there. Here's actually a pretty good one right here. Target Earth, also known as Assault Suit Lionos. Yeah, this was never released outside of Japan. So here is somebody who shout outs, awesome, the release by Typhoon. Awesome, or Typhoon. Yeah, Typhoon. Awesome. He is great that he did this. Now we can actually play this game. I just need to find a version of this so that I can rip it. But nonetheless, what we're doing is we're building a database to kind of keep an eye out for where all of these are located. Track them, pretty much. Know what is there. And one of the things is building a verification system. Because we need to be able to find websites that are capable of doing that. No, it's fine. It's fine. Always good to start it somewhere. Learning Python. Actually, if you're going to start learning cybersecurity, you might want to start looking into Rust. I'm trying to think, because I know that... because Python is mostly used for... I know Python is used almost everywhere, but for the most part, Python is generally used for data and analytics, data automation also. Well, kind of. I know that a lot of academia uses Python, and a couple of the places that I worked in... A couple of the places I worked in industry also use Python. However, when it came to the data security side of things, most of them actually were using. They were using. I forget actually. What is it called? What is it called? It was some language. It wasn't C++ or C#. It wasn't Go, because Go language was being developed when I was there. But it was some kind of scripting language, and I was like, no, I'm not going to learn that. Let's see here. We want to models. All right. So let's see here. What we're going to do. This is going to be the verification service. All right then, and this will be the we'll call this the model surface. There we go. And then from here, we'll want to load in we'll have to load in the model. We'll probably have to put in we'll have to set it to load in a name. So let's see here, save model. So model name. Actually. No, we'll do that. We'll do that. I was thinking that maybe I could standardize it, but we'll just put the name here. And then for loading the model, same thing. And in this case, here we can actually put in our model name. So this will be verification model. Or we should probably put in something a bit more detailed. Let's see here. I guess verification. Oh. Okay. We'll call it verification model for lack of better nomenclature right now. Okay then. And then from there, we can then proceed to do verify. It would be something like verify model or verify model or verify. Oh no! Someone woke the dogs. Hey, con papas. All right, that actually sounds like a pretty good list. All right, go ahead and learn those. You can all right, Colin. How's it going? Yeah, I guess that works out well then. Start learning those then. I have a feeling that the tools that they want you to learn when it comes to cybersecurity, it will be for, well, it might be involving, there's a lot of tools out there that you can there's a lot of tools out there that's already been written in Python which allow you to do a variety of things involving cybersecurity. I know that your main language is C++, but you also know Python. Awesome. As I said, I know that when it came to cybersecurity, there was that one language I can't really remember. Actually, I'm trying to remember what that software. Let's see here. Let me do something real quick. Package. Let's see here. Not parcel, you goober. Let's see here. It's not let's see here. Not glass. Oh, is it Glasswire? I don't think it's this one. No, you piss off. What I will do is I'll look it up and see. Oh, here it is. Wireshark. Aha, found it. Wireshark. This is fun. Cybersecurity, if you, 101. Start messing with Wireshark. This isn't the programming language I'm talking about, but this is a very powerful tool for when it comes to cybersecurity. The reason why is what you can do is you can start tracking and monitoring the packages that are coming in and leaving your computer. And if I wanted to, I could go, hey, this software that I'm using, like Firefox or Brave, I wonder what packages are being sent out. I wonder who they might be communicating with. So with Wireshark, you can simply start tracking these particular programs and see what packages are being sent out. TCP dump. Yeah. This is I had so much fun using this. Yeah. I definitely would recommend. Yeah, it's good to hear. This one's quite fun. Anyway, let's get back to programming. This is oh no, more barking. So Con, do you like the program as well? Let's see here, verify URL. In this case, what we will do is we will take in or instead of verify URL, it'll be verify. Actually, yeah, we'll just call it verify because that's what it's going to do. This will take in a string. So this will be the data string. And this will return a Boolean. We need to, because the idea will be that we'll then do model service. And this will be predict. And then we'll put in the data string, and then pretty much we'll return this. But we need to add in predict here in the model service. And this will be, we'll call it data string. Let's see here. There it is. Predict. Oh, actually, we should probably send predict proba A. Where is that? Yeah, that one. Okay. We want to use predict proba A. And then here will be data string. And then we'll return this. Theoretically, this is actually going to return more than just a Boolean now, because predict proba A, what it does is it will output actually, I think in this particular case, it will output a float. Let's see here. What does it return? Why is it that nobody ever bothers to put out what it's going to return? Let's see here. Here we go. Returns. It returns an ND array of shape and sample sizes with classes. All right. Actually, if I recall, I can just provide it a list, can't I? There's X. X is an iterable. Yes, I can. Oh, that is great. Let's go ahead and fix that up. So let's see here. This is actually this is actually going to be either. Let's see here. This is going to be a union between a string or a list of strings. We're going to take either or. Now the idea here is if data string, or so in this case we'll call this the data. We'll just call it data. But yeah, if data, let's see here, is instance. If this is a string, then data will equal We'll put that in a list, like so. There we go. That way we can take in both, either a string or a list of strings. And then from here we will then produce we'll then do predict proba A. This should produce a, let's see here, it will return an ND array. Okay, so let's go ahead and set that. This will be an ND array. And with that being said, now that we have our classifier, or let's see, our verification service, yeah, if we're going to verify the URL, we should probably separate them out. So we'll have verify URL and verify list. This will be a data list now. Please be sure to type correctly. And this will be a list of, or better yet, or because this is going to verify, we're ultimately going to change this into a Boolean. And as such, what we should then do is we should convert whatever we have here into a true or false. That means we'll have to set a cutoff. So how about we set a cutoff to be something like 0.6 for now. We will have to update this later, so we will have to properly define this. There we go. And then from here, we'll then simply do that. Predict. Data list. And we're going to simply return a list of bulls, like so. There we go. And then from here, oh, well, let's see, this is going to return us an ND array. So we'll call this the predictions. Actually, what are the dimensions that we're going to be messing with? I see what you're saying. Yeah, debugging. I know the pain. There was a problem I still haven't fully solved it yet, but I found a workaround. One of the big issues that I've been having trouble with my database is the fact that I want to create special fields. Here I created 3. They're enum fields. And as you can see, this is not modifying anything. All right. Yeah, that means I'm going to have to figure out which. So still the drawing board. Okay, but nonetheless. So what I want to do here is I want to create an enum map field because I want to try and keep data integrity. So the last thing I want to do is have to keep trying to remember what string I'm putting in for what particular data source. So instead I created a bunch of enums. If you go up here, you'll find I have a little folder called enum. And then in here, I have companies. I have the game categories. You'll see what kind. We'll be making a model for this a bit later too. You can see the game consoles. I just made a whole list of enums. And because of that, I wanted to use these and store the data. The idea would be I can go in, set what my enum will be, and then the back end will go, oh yeah, because this is an enum, we'll convert it to a string, and then after we're done, we'll then convert it back to an enum when you reload it. So that's what this code was supposed to do, but it just wasn't doing it. It kept throwing out an error, and it kept saying reverse nuntype, and I managed to trace it down to what the problem is. It took many hours to trace it down, but I still need to figure out how to resolve it. So for now, the solution that I came up with is because let me show you where it's in the services. Let's see here. Here it is right here. So this is the solution I came up with. When we have the documents, we check to see if any of the fields have changed. If the fields have changed, then what we do is we identify out what is the changed field. It's usually the first one in the list of how they set it up. We then will we'll then reverse our field names and then proceed to go through the fields and then update every individual field that has been modified. This way, I can easily do all of the updates without having too much issue or problems. And then likewise, if we're not changing the field, then we're just simply going to save the file normally. This solves my problem, but it's a temporary solution, as I said, because it's using the update function as opposed to just calling .save. So yeah, let's see, here it is. Yeah, where you're calling update instead of save, which is a bit annoying. So so it's debugging, always a pain, always a pain. You're learning Lua. I heard Lua is fantastic. I'm trying to learn Lua. I'm not. So okay, let me show you. Let's see here. We want to go to, let's see here. So I'm trying to learn NeoVim, if you can see right here. I have it set up, and I'm trying to learn it. It's supposed to help out with a lot of programming. And as you can see here, it's quite useful. You can go into your files. It looks all pretty and such. Any of like these to-dos that I set up, you can see that they already set them up for you. It's very nice. However, I am a bit brain dead when it comes to learning more about this. As such, I'm kind of avoiding it right now because, well, I need to learn Lua, and I need to learn more about how to function this. I'm planning to start working on another project. The whole focus of it is to learn NeoVim and to go dive headfirst into Golang. So what I'm hoping to do is do that. Oh, the class. I know what you mean. Well, I kind of like it's because I mean, it's very Java-like. That was one thing that was very annoying when I was trying to make a Minecraft mod, was the fact that in Java, I had to keep constantly. Oh, why is this claim error? Unexpected indent. All right. I have a feeling that this is just a glitch in the system. Anyway. But yeah, it's very much, it's very Java-esque, the fact that you have to keep calling self. Uh, let's see here. So here we do predict. So we're here, verification, so verify list. We generate our predictions. Then from here, we have our NP array, so we'll go with predictions. Let's see here. Not shape, not arguments. Theoretically, I could do greater than or equal to cutoff. And then from here, it would automatically generate me. This would be the, we'll just return that. That way it will generate the nice list of booleans for me. Or I could, there we go, like that. There we go. And I spelt that wrong. Let's fix that. And as for this one, we should probably do the same thing. Let's see here. Oh, come on. Quit being a pain in the butt. There we go. Okay. And that's getting a bit too lengthy. All right. Let's see here. We'll put data string, predictions. If that's greater than the cutoff. And then we'll make a list out of this. Like that. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, so now we have our verification. We'll need to start building... We need to start building the actual models. We'll need to start... Okay, then. So I've been programming for more than 16 years. I started off programming... yeah, I've been programming for a very long time. When I actually started, it was because of work. I've always had an interest in programs and in computers. And when I was doing research, my principal investigator noticed that, hey, this person is really good with computers and really interested in computers. He should work on all of my data projects. So I ended up doing a lot of different projects that involved programming. I started off using MATLAB of all programs, but then quickly started shifting over to I shifted over to Python. Actually, to be fair, I shifted over to R first because it was a university. So universities are going to use R. So I went from MATLAB to R to Python, and then I moved over to C++ for a bit, and then eventually I went back to Python because it seemed like everybody was interested in Python. And then I ended up getting interested in Java on the side because of Minecraft. Yeah, as I said, it's about 16, maybe 18 years ago. I had to build a database. So it was a lot of MATLAB programming and a lot of SQL. We chose Access, which was the worst language you could possibly use for doing an SQL database. It's not necessarily horrible, but it's just so overwrought with bloat. So when I eventually got away from Access, things just made things so much nicer. You're 25 and you're starting. Oh, it's not one step at a time. one step at a time. Yeah, I had a lot of projects that I worked on. A lot of them they were all high data projects. Hence why I ended up shifting into Python quite a bit, because the projects... All right, well, I can... Since I do enjoy talking about these so much, let me show you an example. Okay. Let's see, a zebrafish. Yeah, Microsoft Access, yes. Here you go. This video, you see that? My job was to process this. This isn't actually my project. Don't get me wrong, this is someone else's project, but a lot of labs do very similar things, and they will process the data accordingly themselves. So the lab I was in, we collected data that looked very similar to this, and I was tasked with processing it. I believe this fish is seeing a moving ball, isn't it? Oh, swimming behavior. Got it. Okay. This fish is swimming. But yeah. In particular, for me, it was involved with... Now this was... well, let's see here. I'm not going to dox myself, so I'm just going to type in... I'm going to just type in innocuous words that I worked on. So let's see here. Let's see here. Where's an image? There we go. Again, not my data, but it shows what kind of data I was working on. So here you go. This type of data. How many cells were regenerating? How many cells were being developed? How many cells were firing? You know, what was going on there? Let me check it out. Look at all this regeneration going on. So yeah, that's where I started. And that's where I hopped into programming. Yeah, Microsoft Access. As I said, it's a good program. It's very bloated. I mean, painfully bloated. In fact, I think a lot of people, because of how annoying Access is, I think this is one reason why a lot of people went to NoSQL. You started C++ at 9. Oh my, that is a very good place to start. Oh, you are already ahead of everybody else. Con, you are, oh, that is good to start there. I technically started with Visual Basic because they were trying to teach programming back in my university. But it's Visual Basic. Oh boy. I don't think I've ever seen Visual Basic ever after university. I feel like it would make more sense if they actually allowed us to learn some other language. This Mathematica and Visual Basic, two of the most weird, oddly taught programs I had to learn. I do not know why they taught it. You think that C, C++, even R would be better than those two programs. Anyway, we have... Okay, let's deal with this. We need a service. So here's MongoDB, tools. Here it is. I should change this to services, but what this is going to be is the model. We'll call it, actually, I should call it the data store, or the data storage service. All right then. Hey, COD Rep John. Can I just call you John? How's it going, John? We are making a database. The whole idea behind the database is to store... Okay, the whole purpose of the database is to store Romhacking data, not ROM data. Not ROM data. This is the data that modifies the ROMs. I want to track and see what's being updated, who is releasing, what kind of fun new hacks have been developed. No, this is if anyone comes here looking saying, "Hey, do you know where I can get some free Nintendo ROMs?" No, that's not what we're doing. We're just trying to track the fun data stuff. Let's see here. We are going to... All right. So we have our core components, core constants. So we need to define a location. So, Oh, so we'll call this the data storage location. Save and char data. Let's see here. No, it's not. We're going to make this a path. Oh yeah. No. So to give an example, to give a very quick example, if you go to a website called romhacking.net, you can see they have a long list of ROM hacks. These ROM hacks contain, they pretty much just the data. So this right here will be a ISP patch, I think. Actually, it might be an X Delta patch. But the idea is that they have these different formats: ISP, X Delta, BPS. It really depends on what the coder has decided to use. And the idea is to track these and say, oh, hey, this awesome dude here, Scatterbrained, he released a patch for translating this Bulkus Club with Bumpy Trot puzzle game. So I'll just simply say, okay, we'll put this into my database, so now I know that this exists. You might be thinking, well, why don't I just go to ROM hacking regularly and check? And the reason why is because we have Super Mario World Central. We have Super Mario World Central. We also have the Sonic Hacking Contest. We also have translated, I think it's translated.games. Yep, translated.games. We also have, yes, I do have a Discord server. You can find the link to, it's in the bios. Let's see here, the hidden place. Again, I can just list this. I can just list all of this on and on and on and on. These are all separate places, and I don't want to have to keep going to all of these every single time. So I want to just compile a list and say this is where everything's located. So that's kind of the idea of how it's going to work. Yeah. Let's see here. So we need to define the path. Oh, this should be an OS path though. So let's see here. As part of me, I could just simply do this. We can put this here, and then we'll go with Pi projects. I mean, I could just do that, and then, you know, models. I could do that and then call it a day. But we want to make this more dynamic because I don't know where I will eventually be running this. This could be on Linux. We're programming on Linux. I really need to move over to Arch Linux. I'm currently using Ubuntu. Where are you? Where are you? Where is a Ubuntu? You can kind of tell. It's Ubuntu. I'm currently using Ubuntu, and it acts a bit wonky, so I might want to move. Might want to move over to Arch Linux. It might be a bit less complaining, I should say. So we might want, as I said, we might want to import in OS. Let's see here. No, be quiet. Why are you barking? No, come on, be quiet, come on. Be good. Oh, there's a dog outside barking. There's a dog in the distance. All right, anyway. You're writing a math parser in Lua. That sounds fun. Actually, as I said, I'm planning to do a different project with Golang. The idea for that project is I want to start converting a bunch of PDF files into EPUB files. I noticed that it's going to be a bit difficult, but yeah, I have a couple PDFs of old books that I have, and I want to convert them to EPUB files so that I can take advantage of the dynamic resolution one can get from, well, from a screen. Because it's a PDF file, you can't really do that. So yeah, that's what I'm planning to try and program in Golang. Maybe we can try to do that in a bit. We'll keep it like that for now, because again, what I'm wanting to focus on is, let's see here, actually, we should probably set, oh, I know exactly how to work this. Let's see here. Let's see here. We want to get the project page. So, oh, all right then. What's a good way to? Let me go ahead and check out. I actually don't remember how to do that. Stop. Where are you? You're on. Knowing poodle. All right then. Alrighty, let's see here. Oh, thanks for the follow. Oh my, I met a goal. That's interesting. Let's see here, Brave. All right, so let's see here. We want to go to, we'll just type in Python, find project directory. There we go, get root project directory. Is there a simple way to do that? Here we go. OS path, ABS path file. Ah, okay. I see. Let's see here. So I bet in the definitions.py, you can define this as with import OS. All right, so that's, Actually, I think I like the sound of this. So OS path dir name, OS absolute path file name. That means, that means we need a file that's going to be in the root. Let's see if we have that. How about we do this first? I'm going to go ahead and let's see here, os.path dot all right, let me see. Where are you? And you happen to be here. Okay. So dir name, absolute path. Okay. So There it is, absolute path. And we'll go with file. So if let's see here, it's not defined. Did you mean name? I don't think I meant name. But it means that I might have to define the definition. Oh, hey. That actually worked out pretty well. All right. Let me go check out what they exactly said in here again. It's called __ file. I wonder why file is not defined. Is that not a magic number or a magic? Yeah, I guess it's not magic. All right, we'll go with name for now then. os.path.dir or dir name. There we go. That looks great. Actually, is this a path file? Let's see here. We'll call this location. So what is this? What is location? It is a string. We don't want it to be a string. We want it to be a path. Let's see here. Actually, I want to do a quick check about something. Let's see where I did core. Maybe. We'll put a model. We'll make a models folder here. We'll make a models folder here. Then what we can do is we'll put the service on the top. Where did I put the service? Okay. There it is. Tools, data storage service. We'll put that here in models. There we go. And now from here, if I run this, it should give us out the location here. There, ROM helper data. Ah, okay. I just noticed that. It's giving me the URL before models. Oh, yeah, that's because it's giving us that one right there. All right. I know. That helps me out in the long run. So this will be the project. The project location. We're going to make this a path. There we go. There, we'll make this a path. And then from here, we'll then do, this will then be the models. Or a model location. I wish I could type better. And let's see here. And then from here, we'll then put in models. And then last but not least, we should store this here. So, all right. So in this case, what we need to start thinking about is how the data is going to be stored. So first things first, we're going to have models. We will have here, we'll call this the actual model, or we'll call this model data. We're excluding this. Let's see here. Where is... Let's see here. Where are you? Add to git ignore. There we go. Oh, I haven't added it to git ignore yet. There we go. Yeah, we need to ignore that because this is where all of the modeling data is going to be. We don't want everything. And then from here we'll have Hugging Face. Hugging Face, and then this will be in-house. There we go. So for our data modeling service, let's see here, models, model data. Let's see, and then last but not least, we'll simply define some functions. Oh, and actually, we need to make this an instance. So we need to make this a singleton. I'm a bit lazy. Actually, I'm a bit lazy. Let's go to our previous project. Come on, here it is. Okay. Here's our singleton code. Let's grab it. I wrote this once before. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to copy and paste it. There we go. I don't think we need to worry about registries now. Yeah, I don't think we need to worry too much about registries, so I'm not going to bother with that. And I see there's an ad break. Ads. Ooh, what we're going to do is we'll just... Let's see here. Const, and this will be the... We'll call this model service. This will be a T. We'll set this to none. Now if we're not putting in name, or yeah, we don't need name. We don't need name because this is just going to be a single instance. But the idea is that if our class, oh, all right. So yeah, if our class is here, so if this is none, then what we're going to do is we'll simply call the instance and we will save it. There we go. We don't need that. And then last but not least, we'll simply return model service. Like that. And then likewise, we'll do get instance. In this case, if... Actually, this is going to be doubled. If this is none... Yeah, this is going to be doubled up. There we go. Yeah, so if this is none... All right, there we go. Yeah, it's kind of doubled, so... I will have to fix that. I'll have to fix that in a bit. I had originally set it to a registry. But nonetheless, what's going on here is if this doesn't exist, then what we'll do is we'll create it. Otherwise, if it does exist, then just go ahead and give it to me. And then we can simply call get instance as a way to initialize this, creating a new file. Okay, so with that done, now what we need to do is, let's see here. Get, or let's see here. Now that we have our modeling service, I kind of want to just type in get Hugging Face location. And then this will just simply output a path, in which case will then be this. But I'll need to update the code a bit. We'll need to update the code a bit. And let's go ahead and update these. Let's see here. Oh, come on, don't be fat fingers. All right then. And this will be the in-house. And then we'll simply, I'm trying to auto-complete, but it's not doing it. So this will be in-house location. Oh. There we go. Okay. So we have that now. Actually, I really don't need to set this as an instance. We can just continue using this as a class. So yeah, we can just keep this as a class. Oh my, what did it just change? Okay, let's undo that. I saw it said 132 for a second. There we go. Okay. So with that in mind, what we can now do is, oh, where is my verification service? Right here. We have our model service. In this case, actually, I think at this point in time, maybe we should actually define what we're going to do. This will be the data source. We'll currently call it in-house. Instead, we'll do this. I'm trying to think of what to do. We'll call this the data. Oh. Data storage location. This is a string. This is in-house. Then we're going to have a service, which will happen to be the mod or data storage service. Data storage service. Actually, it is all classes. We don't need to worry about that. What we do need to worry about is setting the parameter. So this will be the model locations, which is going to be a path. This will be data storage service. And then we'll get the in-house like that. There we go. So now we have that. We have our model locations. We know it's a path. So what we can then do is when we want to save it, when we want to save it, we'll just simply take our model location. We will join the path with the model name. And then from here, this will give us the model save path. And then last but not least, we need to save it. We could pickle it, as I mentioned. Have they updated it since then? Are there any newer ways of... Are there any better ways of saving a model than pickling? So... Save... Alright. So what's the new current method? Pickling and dumping. You can write... Oh. So yeah, it's still pickling. Well, how old is this? 2019. That's still pretty close. I mean, 6 years ago isn't that long. And let's see. Is there any other? Oh, I bet sklearn will tell us. Ah, here we go. Perfect. They have Onyx, Scopes.io, Pickle, JobLib, and Cloud Pickle. Let's see here. Not all sklearn models. We need the. I'd rather not run the risk of writing a method for saving and then come to find out that I can't use it. Not as fast as Pickle. Base format. Supports less types than Pickle. Requires the same environment. More secure than Pickle. Well, being that this is a backend and it's not going, I'm not going to have literally no people will be using this unless this is the only people who will have access to the data is a front end, which will be all curated and it will be all pushed forward. If anyone has access to the back end, then something is wrong. So I don't need to really worry about it being more secure. Loading can execute arbitrary code. Well, yeah, as I said, I don't need to worry about that too much. Native to Python, can serialize most Python objects, and it has efficient memory. All right, I guess pickle. We're going to pickle it. What is Cloud Pickle? Can serialize non-compatible loading efficiency, pickle-based format, loading arbitrary code, no forward compatibility guarantee. I have a feeling Cloud Pickle is maybe saving it to the cloud. Yep, cluster computing. Oh, actually, that is super important. Oh, that is... I wish I had this. when one of the old projects I worked on, they told me to build this very big model, but they only gave me 3 gigs of RAM to use. So here I am trying to juggle a data source, or they had 3 gigs of RAM, but 4 computers. So 12 if you could separate them out. But because I didn't have, I was unaware of this one at the time. How long has this been? It's been here for 7 years. Why did nobody notify me about this? 10 years. Oh my. So I'm glad I found this. No one seems to talk about it. I will remember that. What I ended up having to do was I had to tell each computer to pickle the data, and then I had to recompile it when I loaded it. It was a pain in the butt. So, pickling. Let's see here. So, we simply can do loads and dumps. Seems easy enough. Okay, seems easy enough. Let's do that. Alright then. So we're going to pickle, dump, we need the S, and then model safe path. There we go. And then for loading, it will be pickle dot loads. We're going to have to do this as well here. Model safe path. Now, one thing we also need to keep an eye. Oh, this will be model load path. And I noticed that it requires a string. Expected type buffer got a path instead. Okay, is it load then? Read file object. Okay. Okay, it was. Am I crazy? I'm pretty sure that I'm not crazy. I thought it said loads. Yeah, loads. Let's see here. Return. So here we can dump and we can save it as bits. And then 3 to pickle document. Oh. Loads. Return a reconstructed object. I'm going to assume that's just something that has to do with. I see unpickler. Yeah, I'm going to just assume that that has something to do with. This is a problem with the PyCharm. Okay then. If model path exists. All right, then we're going to raise a value error. In this particular case, there will be model does not exist. And we'll put in the model name. There we go. And then likewise, what we'll do here is we'll put an override or overwrite. So if the model exists, let's see here, if the model exists, I should probably say not overwrite. So if the model, if this exists, if it's overwrite and this exists, then we do that. Otherwise, actually, I think maybe, no, I think that's fine. else, what we'll then do is we will then simply, actually I don't even need an else, just that. Just that, we should log this. Let's see here, model saved. Location will be the model save path. I think that works. There we go. Okay. Likewise, we'll put that there. And then model loaded. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Now that we have our saving and loading function set, we have our predict models. We have predict and we have evaluate. We have train. Okay then, so let's get back over to our service. So what we'll do is we'll bring in our classifier service. We'll load the model. And then, yeah, there we go. I think that's everything. Oh, hey. What is this? Why is that? Why are all of the pictures not working? I wouldn't. They call it the goat emote. I'm gonna have to figure out why there's an this is throwing an error. It says goat emoji. I kind of want to see what that emoji is. Anyway. All right, I guess next time we stream, I'll have to figure that out, what that is going on. Yeah, I really want to see what that is. All right, I'll figure out what's going on with Twitch later. Now we need to save the data. Okay. So let's see here. First things first. So we have ourselves our scraper. Here it is, our hacking scraper. So yeah, we have this. We have sorted, there we go, not verified, verified. This is our verification process. Download, train. So we need some debug code. Oh. How about we do this? We'll put in a new category here. And this will be debug functions. This is technically not debug. This will be model building functions. Now the idea here is that we're going to take a list of all of our pages. Anything that happens to be a search. We don't care about it being verified. It just has to be a search. And actually, this should be in the parser section. Yeah, this should be in the parser section. Never mind. Let's go ahead and grab that. Where is our parser? Scraper, tools, parsers. Here it is. So yeah, this is going to be here. All right then. This will be build. This will be build training data. Technically, this should be somewhere else, but The training data part should be somewhere else. But since we're accessing, so I'll need to rename this. So it's not build trading data, but it is, actually, it is build trading data. How should we write this? Build verification training data from, or I know. Website data to verification df. Or there you go, something like that. Now that we have that, okay then. As I said, this is, let's see, this is how our data looks right here. We have Wikipedia, we get the URL, we know if it's verified. We have our tags. Do we have any other information that, because I have a strong suspicion that I'm going to have to store this data. Especially when we start parsing it. I think... Thinking. Alright, how about we do this real quick? Let's get back over to... I think we still have self, right? No, we didn't. We reset. Let's go ahead and reset everything. There's that. Here's the parser, or sorry, not the parser. We want the main function. There we go. And then now we want the scraper. Here it is. There we go. Let's get into Google Scraper. Let's go to a website. We'll go to, I don't know. How about we go to gamefacts.com. We'll go here. There we go. Now that we have that open, self.seleniumdriver. Let's see here. Where is it? Metadata. Whole page. Wait, I thought I wrote some code for pulling the metadata. Let's see. Where are you? Web page service. Oh, sorry, not that one. Not that one. We want Selenium driver. Here, Selenium base. All the way down to the bottom. Here it is, this one. Parse. Okay. Why is this not showing up? There it is. Okay, then. That's worked out pretty well. Alrighty, okay, so yeah, we'll definitely run this. We can get the title, we can get the URL. Actually, the URL is not right. So we will have to fix them. What does the metadata look like here? Let's inspect you. There's the header. Let's see here. There's iframes. That's not what we're interested in. Oh, they don't have metadata, do they? Yeah, this doesn't have any metadata. Oh, that's the body. Whoops. That's the body. Okay, let's get over to the head. There it is, the metadata. Okay. So this is the first link we found. And then this is the relay link. All right, I'm going to have to... All right. I'm going to have to work on that. It's good to know, but for now... So yeah, we'll have to update this. So let's put that down here, the URL, right here. URL. Update to find full URL and not a side. There we go. Okay then. But here we have parse. We can parse out the data, so that way we can immediately get this. I have a suspicion. Maybe. Let's see, here's our here we go. So this is downloading the web pages. This is downloading the data. I'm thinking. Because the idea is that we'll be running this here. Let's see here. We'll go to, there's the data sources. We then run that. Okay. I'm gonna have to figure out a lot of the details. The main thing is this is going to be running that. This will give us the metadata. So this will give us the metadata. This will pull out the different URLs. Here we go. Here we go. So here we go. This is exactly what we want right here. Oh, I already wrote that. Okay. All right. Okay. I already wrote that. Because then what we're going to do here is we'll combine them for our service. Self dots. Okay, all right. All right. It is 6:40. I need to go deal with the dogs and such. And I need to start mapping this out a bit. I need to think more thoroughly about where I want to put things and where I want to store things. Because right now I'm trying to keep the scraper purely just for scraping. So theoretically, the verification step should happen. It should happen after this, as in it should be happening during the parsing phase. But because I'm trying to compile everything, I'm trying to compile it into one so I could save data space. I want to try and verify. I want to load the website up, verify it, and then save it if I want to keep it, keep the metadata and such. So that's where, this is why I'm kind of trying to think of the best way to do this. Because if I put it here, then that will, it increases the amount, what's going on with the data. Or with going on with the modules, because this is no longer just a scraping module. It is also a verification module. Likewise, the parser should be doing all of the parsing and processing and such. Which is one reason why I'm trying to keep Selenium away from it. So we can generate the list. We then go through the list. So the listing is fine. If it's verified, we then download it. Oh, also, actually, we're thinking about it. I need to also, this is also for generating the data. This is kind of a what came first, the chicken or the egg. I need data in order to start the verification process, but to do the verification process, I need data. I think what we're going to have to do is just create a very basic script. So this will just, so let's go ahead and just do this here. This will be a save metadata functions. And in this case, what will be is just kind of what we were doing with our parsing code earlier. Oh. All right, well, let's go ahead and... Where are you? Thank you. Okay, it's this code right here. We're going to grab all of this. This will be simply generate metadata df. This will return a data frame. We'll just make it quick and dirty right now. We'll just make it quick and dirty right now, and then we'll fix it up when we need to. This will be a Python, a pandas data frame. There we go. We get our list. We will then just simply go through said list here. And then we will then just collect out the metadata. So we'll just do this here. Oh. There we go. I see I spelt verified wrong. There we go. And then from here, we will simply get out a dictionary. We'll then put this metadata into a list. So call this the metadata list. There we go, and then last but not least, we will then return we'll return the metadata list, but we're going to data frame it. Like so. All right then. Then whatever is saved in our list, then we can just simply go through. So why don't we go ahead and run this real quick. Yes, thank you, Google. All right. And let's see here. That should be around, what, 200 websites? Yeah, it should be about 200. All right, yeah, it's working. Okay, so let's let that run. Yeah, so let's let that run. And we're going to have to start thinking of other repositories. I do know of a particular website, but I don't think I can access the data from it. So there's a website, it's called, oh, what is it? What are you called? Not Google Analytics. SimilarWeb. Here we go. SimilarWeb is a very powerful data repository. What they do is they use pretty much, they have a ton of web crawlers. It goes around, it extracts out all of the information about the website, and then it tracks engagement. So as you can see, if we went into, let's see here, if we go to, is there an example you can provide with me? I guess we'll go to Web Intelligence. Market research. Okay, that. Of course not. They're not going to show any of, they're not going to let me. Come on, SimilarWeb, be nice to me. You used to allow us to do a quick test. Why do you not allow us to do tests now, you? Okay. All right. I guess that's they. Oh, here. Oh, here we go. Okay. They hit it in their GUI. Okay. Let's type in a website. We'll do HT, or how about we go with, what's a good website to test? What would be a fun one? Netflix. Let's go check Netflix. Oh, of course it wants me to log in. Poo on you, SimilarWeb. I'm not... Alright, I guess what we can do is we can just look here. If you can see the thing right here, the idea is that it will provide you with engagement, traffic. It'll tell you where it's placed and around the world. For instance, this is the #1 Indian website. This is the #1, Yugoslavia website. This is the #1, I don't know, Russian website. And then from there, you can then kind of start finding which websites are similar. It will actually tell you which websites follow a particular, well, here you go, like keyword search. Well, that's keyword searches. We're looking for similarity. Model. No, nope. Come on. Nope. They added in a lot more data since I last used them. All right, they're not showing it, but they have something called a similar websites, and they will provide you with all of the websites that end up having similar metadata or similar user base, because they can actually track unique identifiers in this. Yeah, so if I could use this data repository, it would be fantastic, because then I wouldn't have to do what I'm doing right now, which is doing my own scraping and trying to build my own data set. In fact, this would actually make a very useful, this would actually be very useful for modeling if I could. But as I said, I don't, it costs a lot of money to use this website. Yeah, it costs a lot of money to use this website. Look at this. 1,500 starter pack. Wow, that is ludicrously pricey. Apparently a lot of people are using it, though. Man, that is so pricey, though. Alright, well, we'll have to figure out some other one. We'll have to figure out another way to find data. I think I'll do some investigations in that and see. I don't really know where to look, but I'm pretty sure there's a SimilarWeb alternative website. Something that is a bit more free. So how is this going so far? It's moving. I just saw Nuzlocke forms. I wonder if those are hacks for all of the Nuzlocke challenges. This might take a while, so let's go ahead and work on something. Well, it is 6:50 now. I think what we'll do is I'll just start winding the stream down here. And yeah, I'll just start winding the stream down here. I'm going to go ahead and hit snooze button so that we won't have an ad show up. But yeah, tomorrow we'll continue working on this. I will save the data, this data here, once it is finished and we output the file. So once we finish and we output this file, then I will save it. I think what I'll do is I'll just go, let's see, I'll just simply do this. We'll call this the metadf. Metadf dot, and this should be to, here it is. We will save this entire database as a SQL. There, or, okay, a CSV. In this particular case, we'll just, we'll call it current metadata. Like that. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll run this. This will export out the data as a CSV file so that we can keep it on hand. And then tomorrow, when we hop back in, we will see about extracting more data, because I need to get as much as possible. We'll see about extracting more data. Actually, I can probably do some extracting while I will do that. While we're not on stream, I will extract more data so that hopefully tomorrow we can start getting into the training. Yes, we'll need to get into the training. I will need to find a lot of... I'll need to annotate all of it as well, so... It'll be interesting. But yeah. It's been fun. It's been fun. Oh, actually thinking about it, before I go... Let's see here. Should probably save. Okay. Initial commits for models and NLP. We should probably commit all of our changes. Let's see here. So we updated docs to contain more details at base. Oh. Let's see here. Update parsers to use... Okay, let's see here. Actually, how did we modify the parsers? Let's see here. Where are you? Parsers. Here it is. Oh yeah. We updated the parsers to use the get data sources function. So let's see here. Update parsers to use get sources functions. And then last but not least, this will be add model service. I have a lot of things to add. Let's see here, and this will be update classifier to save load, and update verification service to use classifier service. There we go. Okay. Everything should be saved. Okay, almost everything is saved, but I think that's good. But yeah, until then, everyone have a good one. have a good morning, have a good night, wherever you may be, have a good one. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Laters.